Hey everybody, on my way to work, fighting traffic as usual. There was something I had to say. I've been meaning to make a video, and I'm trying to get into the road here, and I can't get through this traffic. Oh, come on, Lord, help me remember what it was. One of my posts that I recently posted was a very awesome sermon. I suggest you guys check it out. It was by a deacon in our parish, and very holy, devout man, and it really spoke to me. My bag is spilling all over the floor. And anyway, so it was an awesome sermon, and I think it'll reach a lot of Christians this day, because, you know, one of those days. It's always one of those days. This thing doesn't hold the phone and it keeps falling. Anyway, in this day and age, if you're anything like me, you're getting fed up with the way of the world, these end times and all these heresies and heretics and hypocrites and evildoers and whatever, and you just want to run and you just want to go and live off the grid, away from society, where you're not bogged down by all these people and all the dangers of society and having to work all the time and never have enough money to pay your bills, and you just want to enjoy your life, stress-free life, draw close to God, go live in the mountains of Sweden somewhere, right? This is me speaking, but I know I have a lot of people that share that sentiment. And I've been thinking about it a lot lately because I don't know what I'm going to do to survive should anything happen to Donna. I mean, all my money's gone again. I just literally have barely enough to pay the few bills that I have, and I cannot save. So this is just, it's horrible, and horrible way to be. It's no way to be living. And you know, part of me still wants to, I wish if I could go back to seminary or join religious life tomorrow, I would go, you know, in a heartbeat. But it doesn't look like it's in the cards, at least not right now. For whatever reason, in God's wisdom, He may be keeping me where I'm at, and there's nothing I can do about that. You know, it's got to be His way. When you are a Christian, and this is something that people don't realize, it's not about you anymore. And when you give Jesus your honor, your vow to follow Him, and you really mean it, you belong to Him. You are no longer your own, and you can't live like the rest of the world. And that's why I want you guys to read that long but awesome sermon I posted from my deacon, because it talks about, it explains it perfectly, biblically, why we are called to be in the world but not of the world. And yet we can't hide from the world and run away from it to try to save ourselves. I'm going to try this again here. Hold on. Hopefully this will stay this time. I don't know. So yeah, we can't run and hide from our responsibilities. See, to be a Christian is not just a faith or a belief. It's not just a religion. It's a relationship with God, and it is a job. I think a lot of people become Christian and they just want to go to heaven when they die and be saved and all that and go to church, but I don't think they realize that you are obligated to work for God first and foremost. When you're a Christian, it's an everyday way of life. You have to pray constantly. You have to intercede for others. You have to love others and make this world a better place and be Jesus' hands and eyes and mouthpiece. So to be a Christian, you have work to do down here, and you have to try to fit that into your daily schedule, because we have to give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, which means you got taxes to pay, bills to pay, rent, mortgages. I mean, gosh, this world is a trap. And it literally is designed by Satan to keep us from being able to do our job and duty to God first, which is take care of our neighbor, love one another, love God, praise Him, enjoy your life, because He did give us this world to build up and enjoy. He didn't want us to be slaves. He said He came to set us free. He never agreed with Caesar or taxes or any of that stuff. But He did say, this is how it is down here, so give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, but give unto God what is God's. He knows it's common sense that God must come first. So we have to give unto God what is God's at first, and then Caesar. When it comes to between God and Caesar, Caesar gets second place. So remember that. And, you know, I mean, we're trained, we're raised in this world to live the American dream and make sure you get an education and learn how to live according to the system, the world system, and get rich quick and make sure you have enough to retire on and get a college degree and do all these things and blah, blah, blah. And if you're so busy conforming yourself into the ways of the world, you're not going to have time to do what you need to do to ensure that you're going to heaven. It's designed that way. So you have to be prudent. You have to understand the Bible, and you really have to figure out how you're going to put God first and foremost in this world and still be able to go to work, pay your bills. Now, it may mean that you're going to have to choose a job that might not be a six-figure income or a $50,000 a year job. You might have to be poor or middle class so that you can have more time with family and with God and study and prayer and helping the poor. And that's your obligation. You're not supposed to focus on making as much money as possible as soon as possible and retiring as early as possible. It's not about just being comfortable in this world and making sure you have enough to survive this system. You have to be willing to even die for Christ. If you have that mindset, you're not going to be attached to things of the world. It's okay to enjoy some things in the world, but not to idolize them and make them your whole goal. I want to save up for that vacation around the world on a cruise ship. So I've been working real hard for 2 years and saving everything so I can finally have... Okay, but while you were doing that, how many times did you go to church? How many times did you pray? How many people did you help? How many poor people did you give food and water to during the heat wave? How many people did you clothe or let into your home and give a place to rest or feed? What did you do for God and others? How were you another Jesus Christ on this planet? Because Jesus, though he was rich, though he was God, was born in a manger and remained a humble, poor carpenter intentionally so that he could focus on the Father and the Father's will and do what he came here to do. And then he gave us the Great Commission. Freely you have been given, now freely give. In other words, I taught you, you must continue my work, become like me, so that the Father recognizes you and allows you into heaven. Live as I did, speak as I did, do the things I did. Become another Christ and continue on with what I taught you to do. You can't do that, and I can't do that if we're too busy trying to seek after material things and more money and vacations and RV campers and just enjoying life. You can't do that. So that's why the road is narrow and people don't want to be Christians, because they realize the cost. So they're like, oh, you're telling me that in order for me to go to heaven, to be a real Christian, I can't just can't just claim John 3:16 and go to school or go to church on Sunday and that's it. No, you need to pray every day. You need to have a relationship and talk to God every day and get him involved in every part of your life. Ask him for his permission on everything you do. Say, Lord, do you want me to buy that car or that house or go on that trip or not? Do you want me to marry this person or not? Do you want me to buy those clothes? You need to be, that's how a Christian is. Everything is through the Father's will. That's what Jesus did. He never did anything unless he asked the Father first, and the Father told him. He never did anything in his own will. He always said, not my will be done, but yours, Father. Jesus didn't want to have to go to the cross. He knew what it was going to be like. But he said in the Garden of Gethsemane, when he was sweating blood, he said, Father, if there's any other way to achieve this, the salvation of the world, let this cup pass from me. But not my will be done, but yours. And God knew that. He said, son, there is no other way. You have to do it, or you don't have. I'm not going to force you, but this is the only way to save mankind. So he did it. So, guys, I think Christianity is becoming just a title, a club that you're part of. It's almost like your skin color or nationality. Oh yeah, I'm a Christian. Oh yeah, I'm a Catholic. Oh yeah, I'm an Episcopalian. Oh, I'm a Baptist. Okay, but what does that mean? Exactly. Like, what does that mean to you? Like, really? Because again, Jesus said the road is narrow that enters the kingdom, and few shall enter the kingdom. considering there's 7.6 billion human beings on this planet at any given time, most of which are not Christians or Catholics, that the few of us that are Christian and Catholic, that's a few, but there's still millions or billions of us. A few means a few. So a few million maybe out of the billions of us. So you need to run your race. St. Paul wasn't kidding when he said you have to take this seriously and sacrifice and give alms and risk even laying your life down for God and spending more time obeying the commandments and living them out, and the spiritual and corporate works of mercy. And I mean, look, as a Christian, you are too busy. There's no idle time to get in trouble and sin. When you're not doing what you have to do for Caesar in order to keep a roof over your head, you have to make up for that time that you spent, you know, working and just trying to survive. And now you have a work to do in the spiritual realm for mankind and for God. Otherwise, you must live now like in Our Father, on earth as it is in heaven. Think about that. So I'm not trying to turn people away from becoming Christians or Catholic, but you guys need to understand what it means. And then when you do, and you really have you're supposed to go over your conscience every day. And if you really have an examination of conscience every night and realize how many times you've sinned and ask God to forgive you for those sins that you've committed each day, the things you did and things you failed to do, sins that you're not even aware of, and you'll realize, wow, you're still really missing the mark. And it should scare you, because your eternity's on the line. And those that you affect. Your family, your friends, you know? So, again, I ask my fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, are you truly a Christian? Are you truly... Just past the Jesus and the tabernacle over there. Are you truly doing this as a real Christian, or are you just a Christian by title or by belief? Because that's why Jesus said it's not enough to just have faith, but you must have works to prove your faith. Faith without works is dead, and works without faith is dead. Atheists do works all the time, great works, wonderful things for mankind, but they're not going to heaven. So what good is it? But now if they had Christ and did those works for Christ and for love of neighbor, for love of God and love of neighbor, then they would go to heaven. But I mean, you're wasting, what a waste of a good saint in the making if they're not going to be doing what they're supposed to be doing. So, guys, there's no time. Like, if you have to make a decision. Times are getting tougher for Christians. Yeah, it's scary. Persecution of priests, persecution of Christians. You may die. You may lose everything in order to be a true follower of Christ. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the cowardice. It needs someone to be a hero, to be brave, to be willing to die for their belief. You know? But yet always remain meek and harmless like a dove, and humble, but yet as wise as the serpent. It doesn't mean to be a fool or a buffoon, and, you know, this isn't a game, guys. You need to decide, am I a Christian or not? If you're a Christian, then do as Jesus told you. Otherwise, you're wasting your time, you're wasting his time, you're not going to heaven when you die. You might as well just enjoy your life and go to hell with the rest of the world. But if you really want to go to heaven, then you need to think about this. You need to step up your game and start cutting things out that are worldly. You've already had enough time in the world to sin and do things your way. Now you need to give the rest of your life from this moment on to Jesus. Choose this day, as the Bible says, whom you will serve. I'm at work now. I don't know where that came from. That's not even the sermon I was planning on talking about, but that just came out. So I guess I'm going to trust that that's what the Holy Spirit wants you guys, or whoever ends up watching this video, because I got to admit, my viewers are going down. I used to have a lot of viewers every day, and now it's like I see days later, I check my video and there's only 1 or 2 views. What a shame, because you guys are missing out. And why don't you watch my videos? Not only because they're long, but you don't like the way they make you feel. It's condemning, it's fear-mongering, it's scary, it's critical, you're judging me. No, I'm telling you the truth that you need to know in order for you to make it to heaven. Do you want Jesus or not? Do you want to go to heaven or not? Or would you rather just remain where you are and burn in hell for eternity? And don't sit there and tell me, well, I don't believe in that. How convenient. You will believe it when you're in the hell. So, I'm trying to tell you. I mean, look, I don't get paid to do this. I don't have to do this. I used to have a lot of friends and a family that loved me before I started doing this. I chose Christ and to obey Him and to do what He told me to do, and it cost me everything. Don't waste my time. Like, I'm doing this for you, for love of you, for love of God, because He loves you, and He says, tell people the truth. No matter what it costs you, Steve, even if you get killed for doing it, you must tell them. Now, why do I do that for God? Because He commanded it, and I want to go to heaven, but because I love Him. Okay? I love Him, and why do I love Him so much? Because He puts up with me when most humans don't. He's never failed me, even though almost every human did. My own family threw me to the street, but yet God doesn't. And, you know, work is just constantly, boom, 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 boom. Yes, I know, guys. You're probably watching this right now. I'm here. Relax. Punch me in. Anyway, so I'm ending this video, but the point is, this comes at a great cost to me, and I don't get any profit from it. I don't do it for money or fame. That's for sure. And it made my life harder, not easier. So you should trust me that I'm doing this for a legit reason, that I know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, why would I do this? It wouldn't help me if it's not literal. If it doesn't gain me anything, and if it's not going to help you. I do this because Jesus is real and the Bible is true, and you need to know that.